Slinky Dog Dash is the highly popular family coaster at Disney's Hollywood Studios. This mock multi-launch coaster is the anchor attraction in Toy Story Land, and it's one of the most adorable coasters in the world. This ride routinely is one of the longest waits at Disney, but is it worth the wait? Find out in this review. Disney's Hollywood Studios announced they would be adding Toy Story Land for the 2018 season. This land can be found at 3 other Disney parks worldwide. At the Paris, Shanghai, and Hong Kong parks, the Slinky Dog attraction is a themed Himalaya flat ride. But this springy wiener dog finally got a much larger attraction at the Florida park. Many of Disney's most recent coasters have been from Vekoma, so I was surprised the park went with Mack for this coaster. But the German manufacturer does well in 2 of the things Disney prioritizes: high reliability and smoothness. Slinky Dog Dash dominates Toy Story Land. The ride's helix runs adjacent to Toy Story Land's entrance. It spirals around a giant block tower with Jessie and Rex. Many parts of the ride are visible from pathways, and you'll hear Slinky Dog yell with delight as he passes by. Then the second launch sequence is a spectacle with the spinners, illuminated archways, and intensifying audio. And it looks even better at night because the track is illuminated with different colors as the train progresses through the layout. This really is one of the most visually pleasing coasters in the world. Along with some other bits of theming, the bright red track pops, and the ride features the best looking trains of any coaster in the world. It is no contest. Now, Slinky Dog admittedly is my favorite Disney character, so I may be a bit biased there, but just look at these things. The detail is phenomenal. You have his giant head up front with his paws outstretched. Then each car has arches to represent springs. Then the trains not only have a tail, but it's springy and able to wiggle as the coaster moves about. There was a short period in 2019 when these were removed after one fell off, but they've been back on with no trouble ever since. There was a more horrifying incident in 2019 though when one of the eyes fell off. It looked like something out of a horror movie. The biggest downside with this coaster is easily the long wait it usually commands. This is one of the most popular rides at the entire Disney World resort. The ride routinely has a posted 1.5 to 2 hour wait. This is for a few reasons. 1, it is an eye-catching coaster. 2, it is very accommodating. It is popular with all ages and has a super low 38-inch height requirement. 3, Disney's Hollywood Studios does not have many rides, so the ones the park does have get slammed day after day. And this is not a queue line you want to get stuck in. There is some artwork and even a giant piece of track to look at while you wait, but this queue line is mostly outdoors. For a while, this queue line had minimal shade, which seems incomprehensible for a modern attraction built in Florida. However, I did notice some extra shade structures were added in my most recent visits, which is a much welcome addition. I'd still avoid getting in line for this coaster midday between the heat and propensity for a Florida thunderstorm. There are a few ways to avoid the worst waits. Slinky Dog is fun, but it is not worth a nearly 2-hour wait. The easiest way to avoid the line is to purchase Genie Plus and get a Lightning Lane reservation. Just note that this is the most popular ride at the entire resort in the service. It routinely runs out of return times by the afternoon. Therefore, I would recommend making this your top Lightning Lane priority and setting an alarm to book it at 7 a.m. sharp. This is especially critical on busy days. If Slinky runs out of return times, you can keep refreshing and there's a decent chance one will pop up. But this will require a lot of persistence and for you to be staring at your phone a lot. The other ways are to start or finish with Slinky Dog Dash. Currently, all Disney hotel guests are admitted into Hollywood Studios a half hour early every single day. Lightning lanes do not start until the official operating hours, so the standby queue can move 3 or 4 times faster during this time period. That is how much capacity is allocated to Lightning Lane. If you can be at the front of the rope drop crowd, this is a smart one to start with because it doesn't have a pre-show like some of the park's other rides, so you're off and on quick. But my preferred time to ride Slinky Dog Dash is at night. As long as you're in line by closing time, they'll let you on. There are 3 benefits to this. 1, the wait is almost always comically overinflated near closing time. 2, Lightning lanes stop at park close, so the standby line will move much faster once again. 3, the lighting package makes this coaster even more exciting at night. This ride does have good capacity at least. It routinely runs 4 trains. Each train has 9 rows of 2. seating a max of 18 riders per train. The first 4 cars have 2 rows of 2, but the back car only has 1 row. And like most Disney coasters, this ride has efficient operations. The ride has a separate load and unload platform. Everything rides with you, including bags, and the employees hustle to check those restraints. And those restraints are very easy to check. You have just a basic lap bar for everyone. Overall, I find the trains quite comfortable. At the end of the queue, you'll be assigned a row. But like most Disney rides, the staff members are happy to take seating requests if you ask nicely. I recommend requesting the back for 2 reasons. 1, the forces are a bit better back there. 2, and more importantly, the visuals are superior. If you ride up front, Slinky's ginormous head blocks both the wind and the view. If you ride in the back, you can better see your surroundings and also get the neat visual of the train moving like a Slinky. When this coaster was originally announced, I was hoping for a themed version of SeaWorld San Diego's Manta. That coaster is from the same manufacturer and has similar max height and speed to Slinky Dog Dash. I have a review on that coaster, but it is a shockingly wild ride at points for its size. There is some good airtime to be had. But I'll bury the hatchet here. Slinky Dog Dash is definitely a step back from that and firmly a family coaster. However, that is exactly what Hollywood Studios needed to complement their high-end thrills on the other end of the park. Once dispatched, you turn out of the station. You'll hear spring sound effects, which will reappear at several points in the coaster. You then hit the first launch. This one is powered by LSMs, and it has an uphill slope, but it is rather slow and forceless. This is a family coaster, so the top speed isn't too great to begin with, but Slinky Dog also takes his sweet old time reaching it. But I always have a smile on my face from him exclaiming yeehaw at the end of it. You then have a high bank turn above Toy Story Land. You crest it rather slowly, and it feels like you're going to stall out. You then zoom over a speed hill. It is very drawn out and gradual, so there's no airtime. And like the launch, Slinky again exclaims yeehaw. Next is an upwards helix. It's light in the forces, but has some wonderful visuals as you wrap around the toy tower. And you will hear Slinky yell again, just this time he'll say whoa. You then have a double down through an archway of blocks. It's a nice visual with a solid head chopper. And part 2 of the double down gives a moderate pop of airtime. Next is a quick turn, followed by a short hump, which gives a pinch of airtime if you're in the back. The coaster then twists towards launch 2. This is one of the most theatric launches out there. You pause and are pulled backwards, presumably to stretch like a Slinky. All the while, the tension builds. Slinky tells guests to hold on. The music increases in intensity. Spinners alongside the coaster spin faster, and you have these lit archways in front of you that blink and flash. Like Launch 1, the second one is similarly weak, but all of those add-ons make it a fairly unique launch carried by the presentation. Slinky then crests what I believe is the largest hill. Forget about airtime, you darn near stall out here, but you do get a nice view of Galaxy's Edge at the apex. The coaster then does a 180-degree turn and navigates 4 of these little dips elevated off the ground. They aren't there for airtime, although you will feel a faint bit of pull in the back. It feels like those small bumps on an RMC pre-lift. Their strength is that they get the train undulating, making it bounce and bob like a Slinky, which is again best appreciated in that back row. You then twist 180 degrees back down to the ground. At the bottom of this drop, your picture is taken and it's automatically sent to your Disney account if you have an enabled device riding with you. The train then twists upwards into the final brake run, but you still have the quote-unquote big finale. It is a wheezy animatronic singing "You've Got a Friend in Me." You won't have too long to hear the song because Disney usually keeps the trains rolling, but I don't mind getting stuck here on the rare occasion because this animatronic looks pretty darn cool. Before giving my final rating, I do want to touch on this coaster's smoothness. There is a faint rattle on a few of the turns, but overall the ride is very smooth, and I doubt anyone will have any trouble re-riding it. So what would I rate Slinky Dog Dash? I would give this attraction an 8 out of 10. This coaster is very light on the forces, but that is not what it seeks out to do. This is meant to be a family coaster, although you will get a few weak bits of airtime in the back here and there. This coaster excels in the visual and audio department. The thematic structures, lighting, and audio really enhance the experience as you're riding along. It makes the coaster engaging start to finish. Most guests come off this coaster with a smile, myself included. So those are my thoughts on Slinky Dog Dash, the Mack multi-launch coaster at Disney's Hollywood Studios. What are your thoughts on this coaster? How do you think it stacks up to the other coasters at Walt Disney World? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.